Hi everybody, welcome back to So Easy Kids Can Do It. What we're doing today is we are actually doing a beef Wellington. And the reason we're doing a beef Wellington is everybody thinks that they are just so difficult to make, and they're really not. They're really flavorful and you can make them from home. So what Damien is doing now, all he does is we got a fillet of beef, which that's going to be your most expensive part of this meal. And he is just salt and peppering this real quick for us. Really good. I'll pat that in there. Then I'll hit these edges real quick. He holds that up. Do this. Turn that up real quick. This edge. Yeah, but they're really simple to make. People just don't understand how simple they are to make. They're very. You go to a restaurant, places like that, you're going to pay a lot of money for these, and you can actually just kind of just make it yourself. And what we're going to do today is we're actually going to sear this in bacon grease. But what most people suggest is olive oil, which I kind of disagree with. Olive oil, it's probably better to use avocado oil or something like that. So all we did is we just salt and peppered this. Now I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna sear my ends real quick in bacon grease. You hear that? That sounds beautiful, doesn't it? You sear it to about like that, and I'm gonna flip it over. Sear it on both sides, just real quickly, because we're not trying to cook it. We're just trying to get that outer crust going on there, and put those flavors into it real quick. And a good tip a lot of people don't know is to get your edges, turn that grease up while you're cooking on the side, and we can get those edges really good. I'm having a little bit of difficult. See that? That's all we're doing, and now I'm searing the edges.
And you can see the salt and pepper on it.
Yeah, you see the salt and pepper. What's your hand, buddy? You're searing that, and that is all we're doing now. Bring me over the block real quick, Daniel. The block, yeah. Bring that over. All right, and this is step one of our beef Wellington. Watch out, that's hot. All right.
Right now, I am cooking the red onions because we are going to make a red wine sauce for our beef Wellington.
Right, and what we're doing is we're using the red onion. They call for shallots, but sometimes those are hard to get. So if you can't find shallots, you're going to do a red onion. Now what we got is we've got some cooking wine. We're going to pour
about half a bottle.
About half a bottle into it. And then we're going to add a little bit of apple vinegar.
Apple cider vinegar.
Apple cider vinegar. And then I'm going to add some whole black pepper. Oh, this one's not open. Okay. I'm going to add just a couple of these peppercorns right here. Throw them in there. The peppercorns add a really good taste to this when you're doing it. And then I'm going to add some beef broth. Okay, we didn't make our own beef broth. We're just kind of, there we go. And then on top of that, we got some fresh thyme. We're going to dump that fresh thyme right in here.
Isn't that all of our thyme?
He's going to mix it up real quick. He's worried we don't have enough for the beef Wellington, but we do. And he's going to mix that up real quick, and we're going to put it on, we're going to bring it real quick to a boil. So I turn that temperature up. So we're going to bring it to a boil real quick, and then we're going to turn it right down to a simmer. As soon as you see the very first bubble. And he's going to keep mixing it to get all those ingredients just really into it. And then when we're done, we're actually going to just let this simmer, and we're using the same grease that we seared the beef Wellington in. And it's going to just, the peppercorns and everything is just going to make a really flavorful taste for the beef Wellington.
And it smells great.
Okay, and there's our first bubble. Now we're just going to turn it down to low, let it simmer for about an hour. Okay, what we just did is we just seared this. What we're doing now is we're painting it with mustard. And you want to do it while the beef is still hot so it soaks in those flavors. What we did with our little mixture, what we did is we used a little bit of yellow mustard, a little bit of Grey Poupon, just a dab of hot sauce of your choice. And then we went ahead and added a chili lime garlic to this.
Or you could just use English.
Or you could just use English mustard if you prefer. But so you do this while it's hot. And one thing I forgot to add while I was doing this is I poured in, how much red wine did I pour in? About a half cup?
A half of a standard size bottle.
A half of a standard size bottle I put in, and this we still got our sauce reducing right now. So he's going to do this real quick. All right, and now we're good with this. Okay, guys, now what we have done, here's a little bit of thyme. What we've done is we took mushrooms and we took macadamia nuts. Gordon Ramsay or Chef Ramsay, what did he use? Was it chestnuts? He uses chestnuts. Now tell them what you're doing here real quick, Damien.
I'm separating it so that I can find and see if there's any water, because since you have to wrap it in dough, we don't want it to get the dough wet because we don't like soggy bread.
Yeah. So what he's doing now is he's cooking this down, and
get all the water out.
We're getting all the water out. We don't want any water in here. We're going to mix that thyme up in there. We don't want any, see, like as I'm going through, you'll see those wet streaks on the bottom. We don't want any of that wet streak on there when we cook.
And there's the red wine sauce that we're making.
So this here will take probably about 5 minutes to try to get that water out. So this is our next step, is to do this, and then we'll continue on to our next one after we're done with this one. Okay, now our mushroom sauce is done. What we did is we got all the water out of it. Do not put any salt into your mushrooms because your ham actually has all of the salt that it needs. And Damien, right now, he's going to wrap it real quick. He's going to show you how it's done. Kind of fluff it, and then bring it over top. And make sure that's really, really, really tight. And while he's doing that, I'm going to roll these edges down. I'm going to roll them edges down. He's going to pull this back. Here we go. He's going to tuck it. There you go. Then he's going to tuck in the sides.
Kind of like a Tootsie Roll.
Yep. I'm going to tuck this right here real quick. Always have a sharp knife handy. And the tighter you get it,
It's coming out bad.
it's fine. The tighter you get it,
The more perfect the shape.
the more perfect the shape. And so you're going to take it like this, and squeeze these sides.
It's warm. And then you're going to...
See that? That's coming out to be perfect. Go ahead, keep going, Damien. You want to get that really, really, really tight. It might leak from the edges, that's fine. But your goal is to get this really, really
tight as you can
for your form. And then when you pull it out, it's going to hold this this mold that we're doing. You know, I've got a little leakage on the edge. That is fine.
And whenever you're done, you put it in the fridge for 15 minutes to let it rest.
And now it's going into the fridge. 15 minutes. Mama gonna be mad you showing her fridge. All right, here we go, 15 minutes. All right, guys, we went ahead and we got, you're supposed to use pastry dough. We could not find pastry dough, so we're gonna do something like really just, might be good, might not. We actually just used croissants on this one. But we just pulled this out, it's been 20 minutes. Damien is now going to wrap this. He's gonna wrap, and he's gonna roll right here. We've got a little extra.
And you're supposed to cut the extra off.
We've got a little extra, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this extra off here. I'll advise you, this dough is kind of really hard to work with. Just leave it real quick, B. I'm not trying to cut through the saran wrap. It's kind of hard to work with. But we're gonna peel this off. I don't know, like I said, ever since COVID, things are just getting really hard to find nowadays, and I don't know what's going on. All right, we're gonna pull this off here. Pull off your excess. All right, and then you're gonna take this, and we're gonna kind of do what we did with, we gotta wrap it really, really tight again. Okay, wrap it tight. I'm gonna cut this end off right here. Wrap it tight, as tight as you can. Now, if you notice, see this right here? I've got loose ends on it, right? Our goal is to wrap it tight. So I'm gonna crisscross this real fast, and go to that old handy knife. I've never done good with plastic wrap. All right, we're going to take it and we're gonna wrap it tight underneath. We're gonna bring it around, and then we're gonna do what we did before. We're gonna take both ends and we're gonna wrap it. And we're gonna wrap it. We're gonna get it as tight as we can. Because we want that shape to stay. So, I learned this from watching Mr. Gordon Ramsay, how he does his, and his actually works out really good. I actually watched a video of the other guy who boils his steaks, who tried to do a competition on YouTube and said that his were better than David Ramsay, or Gordon Ramsay. And I want to tell you, anybody who boils a steak, I don't understand it, and I cannot justify boiling a steak.
It's disgusting.
But, and then we're going to take this, and we're going to put this in the fridge for how long, Damien?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. If you see, Mr. Ramsay's always with us. The only issue I have with Mr. Ramsay is he'll say, oh, get this ingredient, and we don't have it here in America. All right, we're gonna stick this real quick into the fridge for about 5 minutes, and we're preheating our oven up to 400 degrees, and we're gonna cook it for 20 minutes. So we're gonna come back and we're gonna show you when we're putting it in the oven. All right, guys, this has been in the fridge for
5 minutes.
5 minutes. We're now pulling it out. It should have a really good shape to it. If not, we can blame Mr. Ramsay. All right, go ahead and do your egg wash. And then now what you do is you just take your yellows of your eggs.
Your yolks.
Your yolks. And you're gonna brush it really, really good. All right, brush it all in there. Kind of just brush it around, get the edges really good. You know, kids these days, they don't want to get their fingers dirty. It doesn't bother me. Okay, brush it on that side. I usually use a paintbrush. Paintbrushes are usually a lot easier than this. And then?
We flip.
Nope, we're not going to flip it. That's going to go on the bottom. We're going to set this up here.
And then we can do the design.
Show them what you want to do.
You take the back of one of your kitchen knives, and you just run it down the middle for the main line. Then you'll do this for the back of your knife. So that whenever it cooks, that has a nice design. Mr. Gordon Ramsay showed us this in the video.
All right. And now we've got our oven preheated to 400 degrees.
Cook it for 18 minutes.
Well, we're going to cook it for 20 minutes at 400 degrees. We're going to set it and we're going to forget it. And then we'll show you how it's done, how it looks when it's done. Like I said, we use croissant rolls instead of pastry dough, but we're just going to see how that works out, guys. Thank you.
Not me. I'm ugly. Video that.
Okay, we just popped that up. That's there. We're kind of letting it cool off real quick, but that is just beautiful with the crescent roll. It was the first time we've done it. Dave Ramsay topped that.
No.
Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay. I'm just changing your name up. I call you what I want to because you're in England. It's not like you're gonna come kick me out of my own kitchen. But if you want to, I'll allow it. All right, and then we're gonna cut it here in a second. That is pretty.
She's filming.
Oh, watch out. Where's my, here we go.
That is our beef Wellington.
It's hot. We're gonna let that rest for about a minute, a couple
You're
minutes.
supposed to let it rest for 10 minutes.
Yeah, we're gonna let that rest.
That's what Gordon said.
All right, Gordon. We're gonna listen to you on that one.
My goodness.
For those who don't know, do not put a glass tray on a stove. It will
On top
explode.
of it.
Yeah, my ex did that. She tried to cook brownies
And
on
here's
top of stuff.
here's the design that I did.
Oh yeah, look at the design.
It's the line and then the spurs.
Yeah, real quick. Oh, and my wife keeps telling me to do this. We get the Bubba. That we actually won this in an auction at the Wildlife Federation. It's kind of neat because here are your knives, the blades. You squeeze on the handles. They pop out and you switch them. They're really good. So, all right.
And you have 4 different blades.
I'll go ahead and cut into this real quick.
No, I want to do that.
Be careful, it's gonna be really hot.
Oh, bake this big.
There you go.